It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Hey, y'all know we talked about Monique the other day. Her interview on Shannon Sharp's club, Shay. She addressed a lot of people from Oprah to Gayle King, DL Hughley, so many other people, right? Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Kevin Hart. I'm not going to go over all that stuff, but one of the things that did permeate through the culture was when DL Hughley responded to her speaking to him, and he said, hey, I stay more booked than you do, and I still find time to be great with my kids. I'm a father to my kids. You don't have a relationship with your son. A lot of people was like, whoa, what are you talking about? We don't know nothing about that, or at least I didn't know nothing about that. Some people have heard other interviews where Monique spoke a little bit more about that. She did mention the son in the interview as well with Shannon Sharp a little bit, as far as like an apology about being estranged and things that happened in his childhood, whatever. But today, he came out and decided to let it be known himself that he don't rock with his mama, she don't rock with him, and he would like the facade to be broken down. He's tired of hearing the cap. He said, y'all talking about me, man. Nah, let's set the story straight. All right. So first thing we're going to do is play Shalon. It's a 10-minute video. I'm going to try to let him share his side of the story as much as possible without pausing too much. But y'all know how I do on this channel. I give my critical breakdown of what people are saying, try to simplify terms if I feel like something's going over their head, or re-emphasize points that I feel are key. And Monique has also come out and shared her side of the story. I don't know. It's more so her husband. It's more so him that done came out and shared his side or their side of the story, which I think is a little bit odd, because when you're speaking to your actual mother who birthed you out of her own body, why your husband got to come and fucking try to tell me what's going on? I don't give a fuck what's going on, doc. My alliance ain't to you. But let's just get to what the people have to say, and then we can evaluate what we think is right, wrong, or somewhere in the middle. All right, let's get to it. So let's get to Shalon first.
Hi, I am Shalon. I am a stand-up comedian, Monique's oldest son. I guess I felt the need to make this video to just provide some context into this false narrative about her praying to the universe in order to reconcile our relationship or whatever the hell it is. I wrote it all down so that way I don't go all over the place and get emotional or anything like that. So I'm gonna talk like I'm reading a script, but it's just gonna help me kind of stay together. But to address the Club Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie.
Let's just start there. He says, hey, you talking about you praying to the universe that we can reconcile our relationship. You know, goddamn well, you ain't doing nothing to reconcile this relationship, because every attempt that we've had to make this relationship right, it just never does. Right? So he's just going ahead and letting it be known right off the ripper. Okay? Back to Shalom.
Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son.
Shit!
Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation.
Retreats back to daddy. I was getting these goddamn alerts on my fucking phone, on my shit, man. We gonna run that back one good time, because we need to get some more clarity, get some straightening on what the fuck this man trying to say. I want him to be heard pristine.
Had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother.
So, in so many words, he's saying she's a motherfucking liar. Okay? Now, I'm just going to say this. We did the video. We had the whole conversation the other day about Monique and how she felt wronged by Hollywood and all of the people that have crossed her, all the people that have done her dirty behind the scenes, all the people that have sullied her name, right? Hurt her in a public fashion, and she wants those apologies. She wants to collect her monies that she's lost. She wants to collect, her retribution. So we supported that. You know what I'm saying? But if you could come out and ask all of these things of other people that are not directly related to you, they're not really beholden to you in that fashion, right? Y'all conducted business. Let's just keep it there. I do support you getting all your things, but we got to have some sort of line here. If you can't reconcile with your child, he says every time y'all have a conversation, there's a new revelation about how you were as my mother. He's basically saying that no matter what happens in our life or in my life as it relates to you, if I tell you how I felt as a child, all you're going to do is come back and tell me some new shit, you going to dig up some information that we've never known to be true as an excuse as to why you were the way you were with me. Or you're going to defer to your quote unquote daddy, aka your husband, and he's going to basically gaslight me into moving forward into the conversation so that I could shut the fuck up and go about my business and y'all could go along with life with a clear conscience. It's just what I received.
There's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid, that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically.
We're going to stop there for a second. That is interesting. Now, I'm sure some people out there can probably relate to what Monique was saying when she was saying that at the time that she had this young man, she was not interested in being a mother or a wife, and she was more concerned with fame, becoming famous, becoming successful in her career, trying to get the accolades, and, ultimately she achieved them. But this is what happens. Like, what's interesting? A lot of people try to absolve men, and what ends up happening is the more male absolvement that happens, more women come out and bash men about being trash fathers. But I don't think we get enough people that actually talk about the interaction or the lack of interaction that they've had with their mothers. There's a lot of people out there that have that issue as well, that whether they have lack of connection, whether they didn't know them, whether they lived in the same house and really didn't know them. We don't hear those stories enough, and they happen just as often as the fucked up fathers. I'm not going to say more. I'm just going to say, based on my experience, not my experience in my own house, but in my experience of what I've witnessed, the shit is a lot more common than you would think. So she wants to go out and be this superstar actress or whatever she was going to be, because she wasn't saying that comedy and being an actress was the focal point. She just wanted to be famous. But how do you tell your child, I had no interest in being your mother? I wasn't interested in, You know what I'm saying? And even if that's your truth, that's not what you convey to your child, right? You don't, and there's a fine line between like being honest and being like fucking extremely brutal to where you break somebody down to where they feel worthless. And again, as somebody, as a Monique who comes out and preys upon, or plays upon, excuse me, I won't say pray, but some people feel that way, plays upon our sympathy and empathy and our humanity of wanting her to be treated fairly in life and in the career path that she chose. How is it that this young man is not worthy of the same in your family, your bloodline, your firstborn at that? People make mistakes, but this shit smelling like trap. I'm gonna let him go.
But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect, we're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well in anything.
Ooh, shit. Shalon, you're coming in hot, man. I know they spell it different, with an N instead of an M, but I thought Shalom's stood for peace. Goddamn, you coming in hot, brother. You said she like to acknowledge it, but she don't take accountability. Again, I'm not a DL Hughley fan, but if we can recall what he was saying the other day, it sounds like an echo. I'm just being objective here. I'm going off of what's being put in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I've done numerous videos advocating for Monique, so I'm not against her, but I also have to take in that we don't always get the other side of the story. She's been talking to, fucking walls that never speak back, such as the Tyler Perrys, the Oprahs. They don't acknowledge the shit that she says. So finally we get somebody who knows her very well, came out of her own rib or her body, so to speak. And he said, nah, she ain't who y'all think she is. I'm inclined to believe at least some of this shit based on his experience. And just because you feel like you changed don't mean that he didn't go through what he went through too. You can't nah. You don't get to retrospect me on that shit. So let's keep moving.
That she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him holds no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them.
Damn. Keep going, brother.
Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, That ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent, and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right. Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money. Goodness gracious.
Okay. We're going to pause for the cause right there because he says, I don't know what you got for me today that you didn't have in the past outside of money. Right? And this is a very key point because the clip that I'm going to play of Monique and her daddy, what is this man's name? This man's real name is Sidney Hicks. So I'm going to refer to him as such. The clip I'm going to play is of them talking about some of the monetary help, that they've offered to him, which I feel is a bit disingenuous because that doesn't speak to his character. It just speaks to his financial need, which does not heal past trauma. It doesn't heal, feeling like nothing in the eyes of the person who created you. But we won't get there. Let me chill. But I thought that was a very good piece because he's saying, just because you can offer me money doesn't mean that I don't have any gripes, right? That's not how the mother-son relationship works. You could have everything that you ever wanted, right? And some people will equate that to happiness. Some people will equate that to shut the fuck up and accept the perks. But that doesn't actually change anything that you've gone through or change the lack of emotional support, physical support because she wasn't present. And whatever it was that he needed that others in her life or his life or both of their lives were able to try to console him and help him out. His cousin, aka assistant. Shouldn't no assistant in the world have a more solid foundation with your child than yourself? I give no fucks.
That would make me want to come to her or whatever those feelings are supposed to be. A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with. I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me, and she would validate her love for me by giving me things and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. And I'm glad I don't.
Now, Mr. Shalon, I'm going to stop you right there. Okay? You could imagine that. Well, I don't know you. I'm not going to say nothing towards you that I don't know because I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen you in my life. But I think we all know very fucking well, excuse my language, in a God conversation, that you can ask God for, man, I just need the money for my light bill. I just need to make rent, mortgage. My child needs shoes coming up, school coming back. And I don't know how I'm finna get this. God makes a way. Somebody look out for you. You get a surprise bonus from work. You find $50 sitting at the goddamn Target just waiting on you. And whatever it was, you got it. And then you turned around and you asked for something else. God, I thank you for what you did. I said I wouldn't ask nothing else, but today I'm asking again. Please forgive me. And he will. Because he knows our hearts. He knows what we're going to go through, right? If you're a believing person. So yes, you should be able to imagine, because I'm sure you prayed many days and nights for things that you received, but still didn't get what you really need, or what you really wanted. Happens. So let's not take the self-righteous route. You already got enough valid points against Miss Monique. You ain't got to do that. But these are your points, and I respect them.
I'm glad I didn't do that. And when he told you no, You went to the universe instead. By no means.
Hey man, a lot of people be getting in a real fight about this God versus universe thing. I've learned to just accept they really be trying to talk about the same thing. It's just interpreted it differently. Some people, you know, they disconnect from the Christian faith, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? I can understand with that. I don't identify myself as a Christian. I believe in God though. And I believe that he works through the universe. I mean, as the creator of all, that would be same. Well, I won't say the same, but that would be in his realm. That would be in his wheelhouse because he runs it. But anyway, moving forward, let's keep it constructive.
As though do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. That's not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly. I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want it that.
Damn. This man feels like all the success and all the money, all of the fruits of her labor come at the expense of basically leaving her child out to the wayside. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta be able to live with that shit, man. I don't know. Monique seems happy today, but you just never know where you may end up in the latter parts of your life. You just never know. And as much as we all would like to believe the person that you marry and call whatever nickname you want to call them, that they would never leave or that they would never leave your side, many have found out the hard way. And sometimes your kids are the only ones there to help you bounce back, or at least to get through it until, the expiration date. Moving along.
That bad. And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter. I even fought through those intrusive thoughts that were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid?
Fair.
But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with three other sons. And God willing, I'm sure that all three of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all three of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. I still look forward, to that moment for her. But overall, when it comes to the boys, though, I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, sorry, my phone did something weird, but whenever they hear me talk, they don't know what it is. They can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not their experience with our mother. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life. Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you were not willing to put forth any effort to obtain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than being my mother. And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. My mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her. But like I said, man, I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity to do it all over again. I'm happy for her. I hope the Cat Williams tour goes well, but the narrative that she prays for us to reconcile is a false narrative. It's not real, and I'd appreciate it if she stopped saying stuff like that.
Well, there we have it from Mr. Shalon. He said, stop the cap. You can go on that motherfucking tour with Cat, but please stop the cap, okay? The Cat in the Hat was retired when he changed his name. Okay? So, that's how he feels. I understand where he's coming from. That's not my experience, so I can't speak to it fully, but there's a lot of people out there that know exactly what it is he's talking about. And, so far, so good. We don't know what this young man does, and frankly, it's not that important. As long as he's taking care of his kids. I don't know if he's got a wife now. Whatever it may be, I'm wishing him the best. He clearly has no interest in show business or entertainment, which is probably best for him. So, cool. Now let's get to this piece about Monique and Mr. Sidney, right? AKA her daddy. There's a longer live out there. I'm not going to go and sit through that entire live. I'm going to play a segment, about 3 minutes worth, just getting to the meat and potatoes of how they're responding to him. And then we'll go from there. All right? How about that?
There was Instagram that was put up, or I guess
it was TikTok, baby.
TikTok that was put up by
my son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this, though.
I don't know, man. What you mean watch it play out? Like, we not talking about the future. We talking about this man said you ain't looked out for him. What you gonna do about the past? You can't change it, but you can at least own up to it. You can at least say, hey, I didn't have, reiterate. I didn't have an interest in being a mother. I apologize for it. And, we can try to come together, something. Go to therapy. Have some real ass talk. Shut the fuck up and let him speak. And you really be an honest, real person and accept accountability to say, I fucked up bad. I'm sorry I did that. Maybe we should spend some time together, get to know each other in this moment where we are today as adults. I can't make up for the lost time. I can't make up for the fact that I really don't know you as well as I could have because I wasn't interested. But today we do have this time left. Let us move forward. Not shut the fuck up and move forward in life, get over it, but actually put in the time, the work, the effort. You're not getting booked no time soon. I mean, if outside of 50 Cent, you ain't getting booked. So you ain't got nothing but time, space, and opportunity to get it right. And that's not being funny. That's not being mean. That's just being honest. And that's using what you're saying as what it is. Outside of the Cat Williams tour, y'all gonna have time. Moving along.
Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing because this has been Uncle Sid your whole life.
Don't nobody give a fuck about that terminology. He wants to know why the hell this nigga more important than me. Give a fuck about his title, uncle, daddy. What? Come on, man. Let's not do the semantics game. Just be honest, be clear, be concise. Don't play the semantics game.
Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
and love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago.
bought you some clothes, got you some shoes, some diapers, play set. Come on now, forgive me. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Hey, what that nigga Pop said? You live in fantasies, nigga. I reject your deposit. Come on, man. I expect more from y'all. Y'all do a lot of talking about other people. Y'all do press tours pointing out where motherfuckers is wrong. You gonna have to come with a stronger case than this.
You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half of the down payment for it. And you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point. And I'm negotiating the deal.
Hold on. So now y'all shaming this man for needing financial help, right? And calling y'all out on y'all shit. Or maybe he ain't calling you out. He ain't say your motherfucking name other than the fact that you defer to him for everything. He's saying his experience about his childhood with his mother. Now you're saying, all right, bet. Now you want to overlook what we did. We looked out for your baby when we had a newborn. Y'all had a whole baby shower where niggas was giving y'all gifts. We contributed, so you should be looking at us more favorably. You needed a car a couple years ago. I helped you negotiate the deal for your car. So why on earth are you mad? Boy, I ain't say he was mad. He just said this is my truth. Ain't that what y'all did with Kevin Hart? Didn't Kevin Hart come and give you goddamn $500K or some shit like that? You said you was grateful, but you still mad at him because he didn't help you produce your next project. Is that not the same? See, this is where we got to call the shit for what it is. Like I said, I support Monique. I still think she deserves whatever apologies that are literally deserved. If there's a recording of Tyler Perry saying some bullshit behind the scenes and admitting to it, but won't come to the front to say what it is publicly, you deserve that. You may not get it, but you deserve it. If Oprah really, in real life, is blackballing you and playing on your fucking head top and trying to get other people not to work with you, and you want an apology, you want some sort of reimbursement on that, you're entitled to feel that way. You've been speaking about it for years. When you felt like Netflix lowballed you, didn't want to pay you what you was worth, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people came to the front and said, hey, this is what needs to happen. Why is it that you can get what you're seeking, but this young man can't? And then y'all want to play him to the left like y'all not fighting the same struggle, just with a little bit of a different tint to it. Blood supposed to be thicker than water, but it's looking like Capri Sun. Keep going.
With the dealer for you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you...
And people was coming coming strong on Joe Budden for speaking on this, and he was mad at y'all for talking about the $500,000 that Kevin Hart gave y'all. But the way you're trying to shame him, you're acting like, oh, you're 30-something years old and you need to help negotiating. You 50-something years old as her manager and husband, and you needed a whole nother actor to come get y'all out of financial troubles. So y'all sitting in the same seat. Yours is heated, maybe his ain't. But what are we doing?
You were expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will convey is this. Those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults.
The children. Raise their children up to being adults.
Right on. Those who are parents that raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path.
This is very true. I ain't gonna come down on you on that. This is true. Where you going with it?
You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things.
Very true. Very true, Mr. Sidney. But I still feel like you trying to play with us. I still feel like you trying to goddamn get over. And Monique, why ain't you speaking more to your goddamn son? Why you letting this nigga? I understand he played the stepdaddy role. But his words, his feelings, his emotions were not for Sidney Hicks. Okay? They were for motherfucking Monique. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to say your last name because you known by just one. Monique. That's who he said. He said his mama. Get on the motherfucking phone and call this boy, man. Why y'all got to go back and forth on social media? I understand why he came out and said what he said, and I know you probably like, nah, we gonna do it publicly because you did it publicly. But get on FaceTime, get on a goddamn Zoom, get on goddamn Google Meet, whatever it is y'all got to do. Call each other, reconcile this shit. He feel like the conversation ain't finna go nowhere, so he like, man, fuck it, I'm over it. I'm just gonna tell this my side of the story. I ain't really on social media like that, but I'm gonna let it be known what it is. And let that be that. I understand where you're coming from. Some people might be mad at him, some people might not. But y'all starting to look a little funny in the light, man. We supported you up to this point. Y'all can't get it right with this young man who was in your household, share the same blood as you, Monique.
Instagram.
That's a little bit troubling for me. It ain't gonna be perfect. I don't expect that. But it's just troubling for me. Take that with a grain of salt, if you will. However you take it, that's on you. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments, though. I'm sure somebody out there feels I may be off base, a little bit too critical. Maybe some people may say, damn, we switching sides. I don't take sides. Okay? I've mentioned this a couple times on my channel, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't take sides. I have no alliance to any celebrity, period. Based on the information that I receive on a daily case, I evaluate it for what it is, and I give out my take on it. Some days that person may come out on top. Sometimes that person may come out below in my estimation, and that's just what it is. And you guys are entitled to disagree, but at the same time, I don't mind disagreements, but y'all also got to be respectful. Otherwise, I'm going to get with your ass in the comments. Right? It's just that simple. It ain't too much left or right about it. Like, respectfully, I come back. Yeah, I can see I can see where that's right. I can see where you're coming from with that. I still don't agree, but I understand that angle. Blase, blah, 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 blah. Cool. But when niggas start coming like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, oh, goddamn, this is where I hop off the wagon. Please believe me when I say, you should gas up before you go. So you get the fuck on. All right? Much love and respect for everybody tuned in. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. I will see y'all on the next one. I hope you enjoy your evening. And again, I will see you later. Probably, maybe not tomorrow, but probably on Thursday, depending on what the day's looking like. Okay? Peace, y'all.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.